my name is Steve Gonzalski, and welcome to one of the classes that I instruct. Before continuing watching this video, make sure that you have already seen the day one video for your class and written down any important things that I told you would be a good idea to write down. You can find this on the home page of Canvas and or in a welcome email from me. If you can't find either, then watch this video for a couple more minutes until I talk about how to get into that part of Canvas. I'm a graphic designer, and currently I am instructing at 3 different colleges. As you can guess by this video introduction, I am a big fan of enhancing instructions via digital means.
The purpose of this video series is to let you know who I am as an instructor and point out key things in the syllabus so that we avoid any future misunderstandings. This video will help both of us keep track of what I am telling you, and that way I know that I said it, and if you need to look back on anything in the class to find out what grading procedures are, anything like that, you have a means to go back to day one of the class when everything was explained. In order to stay in this class, you must complete the welcome quiz in Canvas with a grade of A. It is a fill-in-the-blank quiz. However, all of the answers will be clearly shown in these videos. Simply write these down as I show you the questions, and you'll see me fill them in. And then not only will you have the answers to the quiz, but you'll also have notes to help you navigate this class in the future. It's important that you know who your instructor is. Just because you took another class at this college doesn't mean that this class will be anything like your previous class or that I will be anything like your previous instructor. Cheating on this quiz or any other quiz is a big deal to the college, and it will be reported directly to the appropriate area. I know there's all kinds of silly ways of getting answers online, even from personalized quiz via students sharing stuff. But let's just get one thing out of the way right now, that cheating your way through design school is about as silly as it gets. Also, cheating on a quiz that's designed to let you know how a particular class runs and what to expect is about as bad as it gets too. In case you don't get what I mean about cheating your way through design school, if you just faked a degree in design or animation, sure, you might get a job, but you're not going to keep that job without the knowledge that is needed for that industry. Okay, you can pause and slow my videos. At times there will be more information on the screen than what I'm saying, so you may want to pause it and read the additional information, or perhaps I am talking too fast and you want to play the video back at, say, 75% speed instead of 100. So let me show you how to do those things. So let's say that you're watching one of my videos from inside of any of the websites pertaining to this class. If you want to make the video larger, you click here. If you want to actually go into YouTube and watch it right directly on YouTube.
In this video series, we're going to cover.
You click here, and of course your play and your pause button is here. Probably the best feature on YouTube videos is this settings button, where you can click on it and go to playback speed, and if I'm speaking too quickly, you can change the playback speed to 0.75, so to make me speak slower. If I'm speaking too slow for you, you can increase me 25, 50, 75, even double speed. And then also you have the closed captions here, which are pretty darn accurate on YouTube now. If you're taking notes, that might be helpful. If you find mistakes in my videos, I want to know, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. Now, if you ever get lost in one of my classes, the first place to go is Canvas. That is our learning management system, which is just basically a fancy way of saying a website that is dedicated to the student and the college for learning. So what you do is you go in there, you go to the home page, first page that comes up, read all the stuff in the middle of that page, and then check out announcements. So let me make sure that you know how to do that. Probably the easiest way to remember and to do so is to just start out at your college's website. Now I teach at 3 different colleges right now, so I'll just go to Saddlebacks right now, but whatever college you teach at, go to, or whatever college you're enrolled in, go to their site, click on Canvas, should be a button for it somewhere near the top of the page, and you'll have to put in your credentials, which are typically the same exact credentials that you use to sign up for the class at that college in the first place. Log in. When you log into Canvas, you should see something kind of close to this. My view might be a little bit different than yours, but basically you'll see a list of the classes that you are enrolled in. Click on the class that you're enrolled in with me, and I'll have it set up so that the first page that pops up is the one that has the most basic of information to get you started. The syllabus will be here. The day 1 video that I mentioned earlier will be here. I will tell you for your particular class which of the buttons or tabs or options, whatever you want to call them, over here on the left I use the most, and so on. One of the things that I use a lot in Canvas is announcements. So if, for example, you were lost in the class, after perusing this information and getting back to the basics, click on announcements. If you're not lost, then you want to click on announcements anyway, and always pay attention to the latest announcements so you know what's due for the next class and so on. But if you ever get lost or whatever, you can go back, watch the very first announcement that was posted, all the ones in between, and you should be able to get caught up. So you do that just by clicking in here. There are oh yeah, there is an announcement already. And if there were more, what would happen is the older ones would be at the bottom, the newer ones will be on top. And typically I start this out with the date that they pertain to. So it'll say like 4 and then, you know, FOR and then a date. So with that, I've just given you the answer to a couple of questions. So we'll fill in this blank and fill in this blank. And then literally when you go to the quiz inside of Canvas, you will just type what I'm about to type for here. And I'll put it in bold so you can see the answers. So if you ever feel lost in this class, the first place to go is the home page. So answer to the first one is home, fill in the blank. Once in Canvas, read the latest announcement. If you have fallen behind, read the first announcement and all the ones in between. In most of my videos, I actually make a table of contents for your convenience so that if you've watched it one time and you just simply need to go back and review something and you're like, oh, how do I create outlines? You can say, oh, creating outlines. It happens at about 9 minutes, between 9 and 10 minutes into the video, and you can jump right ahead and get there. Another thing is I occasionally make mistakes in these videos. And I want to know about them. So if you find a mistake that affects the video to where you think, oops, that took me a while to figure out what you actually meant there, please let me know. And then what I do is I'll put it in the mistake section. And what I do is I start this out with the time in the video that it occurred. So smart thing to do when you're watching my video is first look at the mistake section, find out what mistakes are coming up, when they're coming up, so that you're prepared. I don't use expensive software to create these videos or edit them. The problem with going back and editing all my videos is I'm way too analytical and I would spend way too much time on it, and then I would never get the videos made. And most students tell me that the videos are pretty helpful to the class. So hopefully we can all agree that we'll work with this system of you, the student, reporting any mistakes, and then you, the student, looking at the mistakes before you watch the videos. In fact, I'll share with you the free software that I use to make these videos. This is the URL right here. It's Screencast-O-Matic, and go to that site. The instructions and use of the site is so simple, it's unbelievable. And you may find yourself wanting to do this to share video content with another student. You never know. This brings us to another important point, and thus a question on the exam. If you notice any errors in my videos, I want to know. Please email me through Canvas and tell me, number one, which video, what the mistake is, and what time in the video the error occurred. I enjoy being a college professor. I would not do so otherwise. Life is too short to do things that you do not enjoy. I want both you and me to have a positive experience this semester. I have been told that I'm a pretty nice person by nature. That does change if I feel like you're trying to work me or take advantage of me. So if I make instructional videos for you to watch when you come to class, and now in this mostly virtual environment, show up to the Zoom or whatever it is, I expect you to have watched it and not try to work me for information, because I want to be able to spend time with all students equally and fairly, so that I'm not spending time instructing things that were already there for you to watch, take notes on, and be prepared for. Now, on the other hand, if you watch the videos and take notes on them, I will help you as much as I possibly can. I take a great deal of time to make sure that the Canvas announcements are up to date and clear. If you don't read the announcements, ask me questions about anything that is unclear, then that to me is disrespectful. Don't just, leave the meeting for the day not knowing what is due for next week. Ask the questions. My philosophy for the class environment is that when we are working towards completing tasks, I want the class to feel like a design studio. It might be virtual, but so are a lot of design studios now. I'm not your boss. I'm more like your creative director. We're all working together. We all help each other out to become better designers, animators, just students in general, depending on what class you're in. Call me Steve, not Professor. The only time that I want you to think of me differently than just your creative director is when an assignment is due. But even then I should say, not as a mean professor that's out to get you or take points away from you, but think of me more like your client who expects you to have some work done for me, and that it was done per the instructions provided by me, your client, or your instructor, and turned in on time. Now, the lucky thing for you as a student is if you don't make all these objectives, don't exactly follow the instructions and maybe not get it done on time, you're not going to get fired, but you are going to lose points on it. So it's a very practical way of thinking. And we will talk a lot more about grading in a future video. And I think this is a good time to stop this video. We'll pick up the next one where I tell you about my common sense items.